Good evening, my beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for joining us live and whoever is on the Zoom. The class is dedicated to Leilui Nishmat, Yaakov ben Tovo, Yafa bat Tovo, Sonia bat Miriam, Mazal Marusia bat Frecho, Tova bat Zulai, Tamara bat Sarah, Bachmal bat Frecho, Mafrad bat Sarah, Yosef ben Esther. Also for Refuah Shlema of all the sick people of Klal Israel, for all the soldiers in Israel and America, they should be all completely healed. And all the sick people should have complete refuah shlema. Whoever is single should find the right zivuk and get married soon. B'karov, we should dance at the wedding of our singles. Whoever is trying to have children should be blessed with the gorgeous, beautiful, healthy children. Parnasa tova ad b'lidai. Tshuva shlema b'nachat v'lo b'tzar. Shalom bayit. Briut. Peace in Eretz Yisrael. Peace in America. Peace all over the world. Mashiach come barachamim gdolim, without any wars, b'shalom. Today, we're going to talk about Pesach. What preparation should we do physically and spiritually? And how we should enter Pesach. I gave out the printouts. We're going to go over it just in a few minutes. But before we go to the physical aspects of preparation for Pesach, I want us to talk about our spiritual readiness and preparation for entering into Pesach. Do you know how many times all of us could relate? We clean up the house from head to toe. And we are so exhausted coming into Pesach, we are collapsing at the table. Before even the first cup of wine. So what should we do? Okay, first of all, Pesach is not a spring cleaning holiday. But we know what? We all do it. Because we figured, why not? At the same time, I'm cleaning anyways, I might as well. Which is okay. You might as well. But don't overwork yourself. And you know what? If you want to do it, then please be kind to yourself and hire help. Please get help. And don't think, oh, I cannot afford it. You know what? You can afford it. You know why you can afford it? Because it's not coming from your bill and from your pocket. Every penny you spend on Shabbat and Yom Tov, it comes out from whose pocket? Hashem. So what do you care? Hire as many times as you want. You cleaning lady. Just call her up whenever she's available. Get help. And you say, Hashem, I'm doing it for you. That's it. Do you know we have to come to the holiday of Pesach in the status of royalty? What status of royalty means? Status of royalty, both we have to get dressed in royal attire as well as feel like royalty. What does feeling royalty means? We have to feel that I am the queen. When I'm going to feel like I'm a queen? When my tablecloth is gorgeous. When my dishes are beautiful. When my meals are delicious and extra special. When I'm dressed beautiful. My kids are dressed beautiful. You know what? Go all out. I give you full permission. Completely out. Get yourself beautiful clothes. Get yourself beautiful mitpachat. Get your kids beautiful outfits, beautiful new shoes. Everything beautiful. Whatever you want, get it. And you always say, L'chvod Pesach. L'chvod Yom Tov. Everything you spend is covered. It says in the Torah, whenever we spend on Yom Tov and on Shabbat, and plus, by the way, Torah tuition. It's all included under Hashem's bill. And it's not on our parnasa from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. It's in addition to. So what do you care? Go all out. Get help. Get cleaning lady. Buy yourself nice stuff. Say, Hashem, I'm doing it for you, Hashem. And trust me, you will get reimbursed fully. And not with a feeling like, will I get reimbursed? Should I really do it? Now, you should do it. Completely with a complete confidence. Test him. Okay. I have some questions to ask of you. And we're going to go. Do you know that it says when we left Egypt, we left with a lot of wealth? And you know what it says in the Torah? The last galut, which we are in right now, all of us, it says we're going to leave it with even more wealth than when we left Egypt. Wow, so get prepared. Yeah. So the question is, how did we leave Egypt with a lot of wealth? When we were slaves for 210 years, they did not even pay us. So how did we leave wealthy? Okay. One of the makot that made us wealthy, Rabbi Eli Mansour says, is makat of blood. Blood. You would ask, how? Okay, so the makat of blood comes, right? What happens? The water turns into blood. And by the Jews, it's water, like everybody's drinking water. It's water. But by Egyptians, it's blood. So what does the Egyptian do? They're smart. They come to the Jews and they say, excuse me, do you mind to give me a cup of water? And we, the Jews that were there, we say, they are our neighbors. And plus, we were slaves for so many years. We're afraid of them in a way. We say, of course I could give you a cup of water. You could have it for free. Here. We're taking a cup of water. We're giving him here. And as soon as we're pouring and he's holding the cup, the water turning into blood. And it was not just red color. It was mamash blood. Thick. So the Egyptian says, not exactly this. I want water. He says, okay, let me try again. Here's another cup. Try again. Again, blood. He says, you know what? Maybe you should pay. Maybe you should pay. Just pay, just symbolically, just pay 10 cents. Listen to this. So Egyptians pay 10 cents. He pours the water. It's blood. It says, how did the Jews know what price to give for a cup of water? You know how they knew? They kept pouring. Okay, 10 cents didn't work. So let's try 20. Didn't work. Let's try 50 cents. Didn't work. Let's try $1. Didn't work. $2, $10, $20, $100. Didn't work. You know what was the end price for one cup of water? Give a wild guess. Any other guesses? Okay, 87,000. Oh, wow. 87,000 or whatever the name of the dollar was at that time for one cup of water. Then the water became water, stayed water. Hashem said, this is the price you're going to pay to my children. Wow. That's how we became wealthy. What happens if you are in the middle of Pesach and you found a piece of wheat in rice? And let's say you already made food and you found wheat. It's a very good question, but Rabbi Eli Mansour says the whole thing cannot be eaten, and the whole thing has to be kosher, and it's asur. Wheat is so asur during the 8 days of Pesach. So when we Sephardim, right, when we eat rice, that's the only kitniot that we eat, by the way. Bukharians, I don't know about other cultures. Other cultures may be allowed, but Bukharians only eat rice, one kitniot, that's it, nothing else. And by the way, some sources say that Ashkenazim, potatoes was a kitniot for them as well. But the reason potato is allowed for them and rice is allowed for us is because in the place where they lived, it was a staple of food. If they would not allow this, it's like nobody would keep anything. So they had to keep something, and that's why the Bukharian Jews were allowed to eat rice, and the Ashkenazim were allowed to eat potatoes. And everything else was not allowed.
I'm Moroccan and Moroccan, and we only eat the meal that's not like he said only like in Israel and we eat like beans, but not like
Okay.
off of that.
You follow Minchak Avot. That's it. Minchak Avot is the tradition of your forefathers are much stronger than anything else. So whatever your forefathers kept, we go back generations, Bukharians, from Middle Asia. And we did not eat any kitniot, no corn, no hummus, no peas, no black beans. What else is there? No lentils, no buckwheat, no bamba snacks for the kids.
What about pistachios?
Pistachios, raw.
No barley, no what?
Pistachios?
No.
It's not. If you're roasting pistachios yourself, no problem. But you cannot buy roasted without OUP. It has to have a Pesach kashrus. Why? Because the oil they use could be not allowed. Could be corn oil. Pumpkin seeds is okay. Pesach, it's Arizal says, if the person will be so careful about the holiday of Pesach, so bidzuk like dafka, he will not sin the entire year. Our entire year ability to sin comes from how strictly we observe the holiday of Pesach. Arizal says, if we observe the holiday of Pesach so strictly and meticulously, that we will not come to sin the entire year. That's all. Okay, question. A non-Jew comes to your house and he has a chametz cookie on him, and he comes to your house, he's your friend. He says, hi, happy holiday. My kid is here. Oh, you want a cookie? Sure, here you go. But your Pesach, your house is Pesach there. Okay, the answer, okay, what do you do? And are you violating Pesach? Okay, so it says that you are not allowed to possess any Pesach. You are not possessing Pesach, chametz. You are not possessing his chametz. This chametz is his. It's not yours. As long as you tell him, oh, you just be careful, please. No crumbs in my house. Or if it falls, I'll clean it right away. Done. It's not yours. Don't worry. Nothing to worry about. After the afikoman, are we allowed to eat or drink?
No.
Okay. The only drink is allowed. The only drink, if you really have to, is water. Because after the afikoman, let's say you're thirsty, it was dry, you're allowed to have water. Rabbi Eli Mansur says, if you have a little water, it's fine. Because they want.
That's why we're eating that before. Like it's a lot.
Okay, if you need to have it, b'chavod. Nobody wants you to die. We say you have to live by the Torah, not die by the Torah. Now, frogs. How many frogs were there in Egypt?
Millions.
But how many frogs first came?
One.
And what happened?
Producing more.
How did they keep producing?
Eating them.
Very good. So one big giant frog appeared on Egyptian land, and they saw it, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, the frog! I'm gonna get a stick, and I'm gonna really hit it." And every time they hit, it's like sparkles of more frogs came out of it. And the more they saw it, the more they hit. You would think, "Stop! What are you doing? Don't you see what's going on? What's happening?" But they kept doing the same thing, which comes to teach us. We do the same thing. When we see we're doing something wrong, we don't realize we keep repeating the same thing over and over. So we have to learn from the frogs not to repeat what we did wrong. Now, the frogs, it says that they went into the beds of the Egyptians. They went into their food, into their sandwiches, into their ovens. So now question. Were they supposed to go to ovens? It says they volunteered. They said, I'm going to do for Hashem. I'm going to even jump into the oven. I don't have to even do it, but I want to do it for Hashem. For Hashem, I want to do it. And it says they were like intellectual drones. You know drones? When they send something, like electrical thing. So they were like intellectual drones. The Jew is standing here eating his sandwich, and the Egyptian is here. He's not going to end on the sandwich of the Jew, but he's going to end on the sandwich of the Egyptian. Mind-boggling. And it says, if the frog, without being asked, is ready for Hashem to jump into the oven, how much more so us? When we are asked to keep Torah and mitzvot, by being asked, we have to be ready, so to speak, to jump for Hashem. It says, there is a hint about Sephardeya. It says, Sipur Yodea equals Sephardeya. Because they knew the whole story. Sipur Yodea, they knew. Their name was Sephardeya, Sipur Yodea. Brilliant. The 5 mitzvahs of the night of Seder, Pesach Seder, there are 2 mitzvot deoraita and 3 derabbanan. 2 deoraita is, number 1, to eat matzah. This is the only holiday where nobody can say, I cannot eat. Even if you're gluten-free, there is a gluten-free matzah from the oats, etc. You have to eat matzah. Okay? This is something, by eating it, you're doing a mitzvah. Shmos 12:18. And second one, to tell over the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. Shmos 13:8. When this is the oraita, which means when you're sitting at the table, you have to be able to add something. What happened when we left Egypt? By doing this, you're doing a mitzvah midoraita. We're doing from the Torah. You're doing a mitzvah, a positive commandment. Then there is a midarabana. To drink the 4 kosot of the wine, grape juice, whatever you have, organic, you could, whatever you want. To eat maror. So maror, the Sfardim, we have it easy. What do we have for maror? We have a chasa. We have a lettuce. Lettuce. Okay, so Ashkenazim, so the Shulchan Aruch says there is a certain categories. What goes the first choice? As a matter of fact, it says first choice is lettuce. And the third choice is chrein, what Ashkenazim eat. It's the third choice. So it says that why Ashkenazim don't because where they lived in Europe, they did not have chasa. And we had, so that's why we're having it easy even today. Okay, it has a little bit bitterness in it, teeny weeny. So we have it easy in comparison to them. And they have to eat the kezayis, the fume and flame comes out of their ears and mouth and nose and every other hole. The other mitzvah, the Rabbana, is to recite Hallel. The praise song of Hashem, we say it at Pesach Seder, that's also midrabbanan. So 5 mitzvahs. So on the Seder plate, we know that we have to have certain things. We have to have an egg. We have to have a zroa, the bone. We're not allowed to say, looking at the zroa, we're not allowed to say, this is the Korban Pesach. We're not allowed to say it. Because if we say it, we have to keep and hold it till Mashiach comes. So what do we say? We say, this is a symbol of the time when we had to bring Korban Pesach. This is just a symbol at our Seder night. We cannot say this is. We say it's a symbol. The night before, when we do Dikat Chametz and Biur Chametz, when we do searching of the Chametz and burning of the Chametz the next morning. So when we do searching for Chametz, I always was puzzled when my husband with the kids would make these beautiful foil tins covered with the 10 pieces of bread. And they would take a piece of paper and the kids would be so excited. And they would write down, okay, this one will be behind the fridge. And this one will be in the bookshelf behind this book. And this one will be whatever. And then, okay, Abba, come, let's see if you can find it. Right. So you have to write it down, by the way. Because if you don't write it down, there were cases when the Rabbanim would get phone calls that we can't find all the 10 pieces. What do we do? So you have to write it down. So it says, I always was puzzled, like, why are we looking for 10 pieces of bread when there's a loaf of the bread on the table? Because it's not Pesach yet. Tomorrow we're going to burn it. So it's a symbol. It's just a symbol. We have to do it. And it has a very deep Kabbalistic meaning. When we are searching, it's like we are searching through introspection. We're searching for chametz. What's chametz? Chametz is ga'ava. Chametz, what happens to the dough? When it rises, it becomes chametz. When it goes over 18 minutes, it's so funny. From the time when we put the dough together, up to 18 minutes, it's okay. But if you would add 1 more second, 1 second, it's already chametz. So 1 second, either you're making a mitzvah or you're making a sin. 1 second. So we have to be very, very careful that when we do b'dikas chametz, we have to do introspection as well. That I'm getting rid of all my inner ga'ava. By the way, it's a must. Everybody has to sell chametz, especially if you are in a workforce. If you're working, let's say you're working in the office. You remember your husband takes your address, your home address. You go and sell the chametz through the rabbi in the shul, no problem. And all of a sudden you remember, oh my God, I forgot I'm at work. In my drawer, there is a box of wafers. So guess what? If you didn't sell that, you owned chametz during Pesach. So you have to remember, whatever work you're working at, please put that address as well on that contract. And whoever you have a family member that are elderly or not so much observant, they don't know so much how important it is, please call them up. 2 minutes, call them up and say, give me your address, give me your name, I'm going to sell you chametz. Sale of chametz is a must. Today, everybody sells chametz and there is no problem. You cannot see chametz in your own home. That's the rule. Can you go to the store that Goy owes to buy something, whatever you need, milk, whatever, I don't know, whatever. And then you see chametz, you see cereals on the shelves. Can you see it? No problem. Because it's not yours. It's not yours. You cannot see chametz in your own home. Somewhere else, no problem.
Also scared to go to the store.
Don't be scared.
Say that if you go to the chametz store, you see the chametz and everything. So that means it's not my own, so I can't go to the key food and buy milk or something like
or
that.
whatever.
For the
Make sure it's OUP.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Right.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So sometimes we do sell, right? And we have it, let's say, in freezer just for chametz.
Right.
All of us, for whatever reason, we soil. We sold it though, but we soil.
It's not yours.
It's not ours.
It's not yours.
That time.
Cover it. Cover it, put it away, get rid of it, cover it, make sure you know.
It's not just.
Exactly. Don't look at the shelf, close it. Yeah.
Chametz is like cookies and stuff like that. But when it is the pots of the chametz pots.
Put it away. Clean it and put it away.
Close it to the.
Close it and put it away. And put a sign, chametz.
Closet, everything closed.
Correct. So every closet.
Bed signs, even though there's no food there.
Correct.
Because it's chametz packed.
Correct. No, you're supposed to. Okay, so every closet space in your kitchen that is chametz, you put a tape and you write on the tape chametz. It's a reminder for you because you're automatic for 365 days a week, a year. You go to that place. So in order for you not to, by mistake, go into it, you open it, oh, it's chametz, it's closed. Okay, sorry.
So what about they say you sell your pots and whatever, you have.
No,
to
there's
take
no
it to the
problem.
mikveh.
Just it's for you
They
as
say
a.
You have to take it to the mikveh because you sell it to the goy and then you take. it.
You're not selling your pots. You're only selling chametz. You're not selling your pots. Your pots are yours.
Because pots are not chametz.
Pots are not chametz. Pots are just, they were used for chametz and they're clean. They're now completely clean. They're not used for Pesach. They just put away. That's it.
They have to put a chametz sign on it.
Correct. Just close it. This way, by mistake, you don't go there and don't take it. You or the kids or whoever. One tape, one word chametz. You did a mitzvah.
Take everything and I put it in my balcony.
Okay.
Too much work.
Yeah.
There is a great book that I'm sure there is a newer version. Looks like this. It's the Laws of Pesach, a digest. I used it years ago when I was a new caller. Rabbi Blumenkranz, he passed away already. Unbelievable source of every information you could find, every nuance, anything from under the sea, under the sun, under the moon, every single thing in this book. I'm sure there is something like this, newer version revised by his kids or whoever is selling in the bookstores. Highly recommended to read, to have at home. Very important. I will go over with you just briefly. And also, right before we go to Pesach, it's a very big mitzvah. It's called Kimcha de Pischa. What Kimcha de Pischa means? It means literally like the flour for the Pesach. What's flour? Kemach. So for who? For poor people. We know that Pesach is one of the most expensive holidays, and poor people cannot afford. So it's obligated on our part to give more than usual to the poor people that we know. Also, if you have those poor people in your own family, let's say your cousin, let's say, or niece, or nephew, whoever, chesed starts at home. It's no greater mitzvah to give to the Joe from the shul than to your own cousin or nephew or niece if they're needy. You are obligated by the Torah to support that relative. You don't have to like them. You don't have to. You're doing it for Hashem. Because Hashem created this person. That's it. Just do it. A person comes to knock on the door to the wealthy person and says, I'm here to collect for Kimcha de Pischa, for the poor people. And the person says, I'm sorry, the business is not doing so well. He says, great. He says, what do you mean great? He goes, you know what they say? They say if the business is doing, it means it's going somewhere. Well or not well. It's doing something. When it's not doing at all, it means it's closed. If it's not closed, it means it's doing something. He says, no, but it's not doing so well. I can't give it right now. He says, okay, no problem. You can't give it right now. Let me tell you something. It says that the portion of the poor person is given inside the parnasa of the regular people. So which means our parnasa has the portion of the poor people as well. And you know what? When we give, Hashem gives us more. Because we give. Hashem says, you know what? I'm so proud of you. I gave you $1 million. You were so generous. You gave out to the people. But if you don't, and you say, it's all mine, Hashem is going to say, okay, let's see what's going to be next year. I really trusted you. I really had trust in you. So when we come, and when the person came to the poor person, to the rich person and said, I came here not to collect for the poor, but I came to collect my debt. I'm collecting for the poor. The poor person's money is in your parnasa. And the person answered, But because I used it to make more money in my business with your money, now I owe you money. I have to pay you whatever extra I made. So so the person who said, I don't have money and my business is not doing so well, he said, I'll tell you a story. There's a story in the Gemara that says there's a school of Hillel and there's a school of Shammai. So one of them says, when are you allowed to divorce your wife? One says, if she is promiscuous and she does something immoral, you're allowed to divorce her. Okay. Another school says, not only that, if she burns his supper, you're allowed to divorce her. Listen. And it says, so what does it mean if she was on the phone with a friend or sister and she got carried away with the conversation and she forgot and the dinner is burning. So he comes home. He says, wow, it smells in here. And she says, oh, she runs to the kitchen and she sees it's burnt. But luckily there's something in the middle that she was able to save. So it says that Esheschael, wife, will take from the middle that's whatever she was able to save and give it to her husband. And she will eat the burnt. I said, no, I don't like this kind of Esheschael. Why should she eat the burnt? What is she, second-class citizen? And the one that wants equality, I said, that's me. I want equality, please. So the one that wants equality, she will say, you know what? A little bit of the middle and a little bit of the burnt for you. And a little bit of the middle and a little bit of the burnt for me. Equality. And it says, so the person says, so why? That's a very nice story, but what it has to do with me? With me giving the money for the Kimcha de Pischa. He says, if the wife burns his supper, that's when that's when he can divorce her. Not when she burns her supper, but when she burns his supper. That's the language of the Gemara. He can divorce her. So it says, the supper, if you're making money in your business and you are going on extra vacations with your family, which is fine, and you are buying more beautiful things and new furniture for Pesach, and you're going to Florida for Pesach, which is fine. But when I come to you to ask for money for poor, you said business is not doing so well. Don't burn his supper. Don't burn his supper. Because we're all in the union together. We're like a husband and wife. We're like, Hashem wants us to feel responsible for the poor people. As a matter of fact, they say the poor person does more for you than you do for a poor person. You much rather give than take. Many years ago, 20 years ago, I had this beautiful printout. That's why I made a copy for you. You're not going to believe this. My original copy was stained with yellow, because it's 20 years old. And it was certain letters were like, and I tried to do with ChatGPT, with the Grok, with the Note, with the iPhone, to make it a clean copy possible. Didn't work. I'm like, I have to get a normal copy. So you know what, Hashem, I'm just trying it, whatever. If it's going to be stained, it's going to be stained. Who cares? Let's do it. I just go to the copy center and I come in and I put my sheet and it gives me absolutely gorgeous stain-free copy. Like, Hashem, you're unbelievable. Only you could do it. No ChatGPT, nothing. Unbelievable. Okay, so these instructions I got when I was a young Kala, 20 plus years ago. When I read this is in my Pesach Digest. I take this out every time before I start my Pesach preparation. When I read this, it calms me down. Because why? Because the instructions are so easy to follow, and like you don't have to go crazy and get overwhelmed. It's so simple. So you don't have to get overwhelmed. I'll quickly go over like basic things. All property and possessions must be clean and checked to make sure that they are free of all chametz, except in the following cases. If during the year chametz is not brought into a place, that place does not have to be cleaned out or checked for chametz. Any article which is not used on Pesach does not need to be checked for chametz, provided it is put away properly and the chametz in it is sold. Crumbs which have been rendered completely inedible to the extent that they are not fit to be eaten by a dog are not considered chametz. For example, you have tiles in your kitchen and some of them already breaking and there is a little space in between. And the kids, crumbs, whatever, if you're washing the floors with the soap and water to make it nice and clean before Pesach, so if there is water, soap water went in, it's not eatable by the dog. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The general obligation to check for and destroy crumbs does not apply if the crumbs are less than the size of an olive, Kezias, and are dirty or spoiled enough to prevent a person from eating them. So if you're not going to eat them, don't worry about it. The household cleaner mentioned below used must spoil the crumbs slightly to the extent that people would refrain from eating them. It is customary that any item to be kosher should not be used for 24 hours prior to koshering, in order that it should not be a ben yomo. Whatever you have to kosher, do not use for 24 hours. Okay. Today, Baruch Hashem, we do not use chametz pots and dishes. We don't have to not wait for 24 hours. Everybody, Baruch Hashem, has separate pots and dishes. So we have no worries. It's separate. Practical applications, very simple. Clothing closets. If there is some significant possibility that chametz went into them, they should be checked for fully edible crumbs of chametz besides large pieces of chametz. If the probability that chametz entered these places is remote, a Rav can be consulted to clarify the conditions under which they do not have to be checked. This includes chests, dressers, basements, and all other similar places. So if your clothes have no chametz on it, don't worry about it. You're good. Floors. In our times, we don't have earthen floors with deep cracks in them. It is sufficient for tiled or covered floors to be swept and washed with a household floor cleaner. Cracks and spaces between tiles do not have to be checked if the cleaning solution reaches into them, just like what we discussed. Food cabinets. If the cabinet is not going to be used on Pesach, then you just have to close it and mark it in a manner that will remind you not to use it on Pesach and sell it with the chametz. If the cabinet is going to be used on Pesach, take out all of the food and wash it with a rag soaked in a household cleaner. Be sure the cleansing agent reaches into all the cracks and soaks into any crumbs that might be left there. The usual practice is to line the cabinets. Refrigerator. Take the food out and wash it with a rag soaked in a household cleaner. The racks are usually covered. It is advisable to leave holes for air circulation. Koshering sinks. Clean the sinks and pour a kettle of boiling water into them and on their sides. Some people pour hot water mixed with the bleach down the drain. The usual practice today is to use an insert or line the sinks with aluminum foil or contact paper, if not difficult. This practice should be followed. I'll never forget, many, many years ago, I lived in Borough Park. I was a young girl, just came to the United States, and I was babysitting a Jewish family. I was a young girl. And I see during Pesach time, they had a Pesach kitchen, and they would, the whole Pesach kitchen was full of foil, including the sink, like foil. I was like 21-year-old. I was like, looking like, wow, so cool. Little did I know, they were machmir, you know. Baruch Hashem.
Stainless steel, right?
So you have to wash with the bleach and hot water, and that's it. Faucets, taps. Cleaning without any other koshering procedure is sufficient. It reminds me of a story. Faucets. Faucets. Okay, how do we clean faucets? Same thing. We clean well and then hot water. In Israel, there were Bedouins, Bedouins. They come and they are fascinated. They see that the Israelis, they open the faucet and the water coming. And they're like, wow, it's like magic. And before they leave, so the Israelis are asking, anything you want to ask us before you leave? They looked at each other. Yes, we know what to ask for. Can you please, it's 5 of us. Can each one of them have one of those faucets? Because it's magic. When you just turn it on, the water comes. And the Israelis tell them, oh, you're so cute. But the water cannot just come if we give you faucet. It has to be connected to the pipes. So the same thing with us. When we are connected with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, with the pipe of the spirituality of the whole energy of life, then the water comes and the bracha comes and life comes. We need to be connected. Faucets. Marble and stainless steel counters. If they were used for hot chametz, they should first be cleaned well. They should either be completely covered so that nothing Pesach touches them, or if it will not ruin the countertop, pour boiling hot water on them. Many people do both. So you have to know what counter cover you have, your covers in the kitchen. So you could either call your rabbi, or there is an OU website, okay, Orthodox websites, that you could see what's the right, it has to be, if there's a porous material or non-porous material. So based on that, it will tell you, sometimes you have to just put a cover. And sometimes you don't have to put a cover. You have to do just wash well, wipe it off, and just put hot water, and you're good, and just wipe it off. That's it.
It's stone.
Okay, you have to know which one. Usually stone is good with the hot water, you're fine.
It's real stone.
Okay, but just follow. Tabletops, wash them with a household cleaner. The usual practice is to cover the tables. Kashering range, oven, stove top. Wash the top and side surface areas with a rag soaked in a strong household cleaner. Clean the knobs well. Grates can be kashered by first cleaning them well, then put them back on the stove and then lighting all the burners, raising them to the maximum heat, putting on a blech while the burners are on. This spreads the heat over the whole top and intensifies the heat on the grates. Let it burn 5-10 minutes. Be careful that the knobs don't melt. This is very important. Knobs, they do melt.
Yeah, once somebody put it, it's almost fireworks.
You have to be careful. After crushing, the usual practice today is to cover the stovetop with aluminum foil, being extremely careful not to block the air inlets around the burners and on the back of the stove, as this could create poisonous fumes in the room. Oven. If you want to use the oven, first clean the oven well with an oven cleaner like Easy Off. Make sure that it reaches in all the cracks and around the screws. After using the oven cleaner, there is no need for further cleaning. Then heat the inside of the oven by turning the oven on to its highest temperature for about an hour. I do more than an hour.
Self-cleaning.
Correct. So usually self-cleaning oven is like 4 hours, I think. So it's gonna burn. So just make sure you open all the doors and the windows because it smells.
And I have a question. The burners, how much minutes you put it? Like when you finish everything, and they said the burners, you're supposed to do each one 10 minutes, 1 hour, the burners. You know, at the top of the gas, you're supposed to burn it. How much is the minute?
Okay, so I put them inside. I burned them inside.
Yeah, those I do that.
Right.
But then each one goes like this. How much is the hour?
So I put all of it inside. I put all of it inside. But otherwise, if it says you could put 5-10 minutes with the blech on, which means the heat 5-10 minutes on the very high. But remove the knobs. Okay. After koshering, okay. If your oven has a turbo option, a fan which circulates the heat, consult a rub about your particular type. The one that has a turbo option or like a convection oven, whatever it's called. So you have to ask a rub. After koshering, if the oven door has a glass window, preferably cover the entire inside of the door with aluminum foil. If a closed oven insert is available, this would be preferable. In this case, only washing and cleaning are necessary. Do not use the chametz dika oven racks for Pesach. If this is difficult, then one can kosher the racks with the same procedure as for the oven, placing them as close as possible to the heating element. Correct. Sorry. If the oven is not going to be used, then none of the above is necessary. Just make sure that there is no edible chametz inside. Tape it closed well and see below. Pots, pans, dishes, and silverware, cutlery. Whatever is not going to be used for Pesach should either be taped closed and marked or put away in such a manner that will remind you not to use them on Pesach. If there's a possibility of actual chametz in them, chametz should be sold. If you do not sell chametz, then it should be either washed or soaked in a household cleaner. It is not necessary to scrub them. Concerning koshering utensils for Pesach, consult a rav. Food processor mixer, a rav should be consulted. Dish towels. If one does not have a Pesach the cassette of dish towels, then one's regular dish towels may be used if they are washed with a detergent and no food remains attached to them. It is customary to have a set of Pesach Deka dish towels. Pesach tablecloths. These can be ironed with the same iron as is used during the rest of the year. Clothes, blankets, pockets. If they have been washed in detergent or dry cleaned, then there is no need for them to be checked. Otherwise, they need to be cleaned and checked thoroughly by brushing or shaking them out well. However, if there is a possibility of crumbs between the stitches or in a hidden crevice which cannot be shaken out, then they must be wiped with a rag which has been soaked in a detergent. Clothes which will not be worn on Pesach do not have to be checked, but they should be put away and the chametz in them sold. Benchers and Zmiros books, which are very hard to clean, should be put away and the chametz that is in them should be sold. Other Sfarman books that may contain chametz crumbs should either not be brought to the table on Pesach, or if you plan to use them at the table, they should be cleaned and checked well. Toys. If there is edible chametz, then it should be either removed or rendered inedible. There is no need to scrub them. Tchina and other kitnios may be used after the house has been cleaned for Pesach. They should not be cooked in utensils that will be used on Pesach, and certainly not on Pesach itself, according to the Ashkenaz Minhag. Okay, question. You are Ashkenaz, and you come to a Sephardi home, and they cooked rice, and it's on the table in front of you. Are you allowed to, as an Ashkenaz person, eat from the chicken and meat? You're not eating rice, but are you allowed to eat other dishes from that household table?
My friend told me she cannot.
Okay, if you're a guest, okay, if you're a guest in a Sephardi home and they serve kitniot,
Esther, I can't hear you. Esther?
okay, we got.
You taking a house video or you
No,
taking a?
me.
Oh, good. Is that all right?
Okay, sorry about the interruption of the Zoom. Okay, so if you're an Ashkenaz and you're coming to Sephardi home as a guest, and they have other kitniot at the table, are you allowed to eat not kitniot but other non-kitniot dishes? The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
What is
Rice, let's say you made rice separately. You're having a beautiful dish of the rice in the middle, and then you also have the delicious meats and chicken and whatever. So, and you have an Ashkenaz guest, so he's allowed to eat from your table the non-kitniot.
Why not?
He's allowed to. That's that. He's allowed. Correct. But usually a lot of people are very strict during the holiday of Pesach. They try not to go anywhere, not to eat anywhere. They try to focus on their own home and that's it, which is beautiful. Checking the rooms. If it is too difficult to check all the rooms on one night, then the work may be divided and done on other nights. According to all the laws of B'dikas Chametz, no chametz should be left in any room that has been cleaned and checked properly. Since the bracha is not recited before the night of the 14th, therefore at least one place that has chametz should be left unchecked. Then the mitzvah of B'dikas Chametz can be performed with a bracha on the night of the 14th on that area. If the whole house had already been completely cleaned before the 14th, then the 10 pieces of chametz, according to the minchag, should be hidden by somebody else so that proper b'dika can be made. As a matter of fact, they say when you burn the chametz, one of the beautiful segulot is to write all your problems and burn it together with the chametz. And they say, may Hashem take away all my problems and all my, let's say, sicknesses and all my debt and all my whatever. Bad needles. Food that falls onto a chair or onto the floor on Pesach should be washed off for hygienic reasons. The food does not become chametz even if the food is hot. Last minute preparation, for example, setting the table should be completely early enough in the day so that you will be able to rest a little bit. Be ready to start the Seder immediately after the Ma'ariv to ensure that the children won't fall asleep at the Seder. As soon as the husband comes from shul, you start the night. You start the Seder. Because it's a long.
Second night, we don't set up until we do candles, though, right?
Correct.
Second night, right?
But they can't. Correct. And also the candles, because thank you. Because it's Wednesday, it falls Wednesday night this year. So we are running into Shabbos. So we have to do Eruv Tafshilin. So Eruv Tafshilin has to be done, let's say, on egg, let's say, or fish, let's say, and let's say a masa, let's say. You make a bracha on Wednesday day, and you leave it in the fridge and you write that this, or put away, you know what it is. So you use it for Shabbat. Even if you're not home, you should still do it Eruv Tafshilin because it covers other melachot. Let's say you're sweeping the floor in your house or whatever. It also covers because you're preparing for Shabbos. So whatever you do preparation, that Eruv Tafshilin covers that as well. What if, by mistake, you lost the Eruv Tafshilin? You made the Eruv Tafshilin and it's lost. You can't find it. Can you rely on it? The answer is yes.
You did it already, right? You said the bracha.
Rabbi Eli Mansour, yes. What if somebody ate by mistake before Shabbat? By mistake. Kids, whatever. Can you still rely on Eruv Tafshilin? The answer is yes. But ideally, has to be kept till Shabbat and has to be used for one of the meals. Let's say, Shalash.
So going back to my question, we still have to wait until we light the candles to set up tables.
Second night. Yeah. Because you cannot prepare on Yom Tov for the next day. Also for Shabbat, you cannot prepare on Yom Tov. So when can you do it? At night. By Jewish law, when the new day starts at night, you're allowed to. Which means Thursday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. So you're allowed to be based on the Wednesday night till Thursday, then Thursday night till Friday, then Friday night you're entering Shabbat. So Eruv Tafshilin will allow you from at night on that Friday you're allowed to prepare for Shabbat. That Eruv. You cannot do on Wednesday. You can do on Thursday night, going on with Friday.
You do on Thursday night or Friday night for Shabbat?
Eruv Tafshilin has to be done on Wednesday.
No.
And preparation for Shabbat could be as early as Thursday night, going to Friday. Because you're preparing for
You can
Shabbat.
also put compared to late.
Correct.
But you also have to prepare for Friday lunch. It's also fun.
People usually eat leftovers or whatever you do. You are allowed to prepare on Yom Tov for Yom Tov. You're allowed. So, okay. matzah and maror, the size of a kezias, equal to volume of half an egg. It should be noted, hand matzah should be used for motzei matzah, korech, and afikomens. If this is impossible, then a rav should be consulted. Korech is a mitzvah derabana and requires a kizayis of matzah and kizayis of maror. Afikomen is a mitzvah of derabana and requires a kizayis of matzah. It would be preferable to eat 2 kizaysim. Elderly people or those unable to meet these requirements should consult a rav. Time limit. If possible, it is preferable to try and swallow 1 kizayis at one time. Otherwise, it is preferable then that the kizayis for the mitzvah, the oraisa of matzah should be eaten within 2 minutes, or at least 4 minutes. If this is very difficult, then 5 to 6 minutes is acceptable by some rabbinical authorities. If this is impossible, then 9 minutes is also acceptable. Relax, chew well, and begin swallowing. The time limit starts from when you begin swallowing. If one encounters difficulty, a small amount of water may be sipped while chewing. What to drink? A red wine for the 4 cups. Red wine is preferable. If it is difficult for one to drink wine, he may use grape juice. Those allergic to wine and grape juice may use a chamar medina. For example, tea and coffee in some countries. Consult a rav for exact details. Size. The cup used must contain at least a revius. To avoid drowsiness, use a cup that does not exceed the minimum shear size. When the seder falls on a Friday night, a large shiur of revius should be used for the first cup. One may drink a glass of water immediately after swallowing the wine. The water should be on the table at the time that one says the bracha of Borei Pri HaGeften, so that the water is included in the bracha on the wine. Preferably, one should drink the entire cup. If this is very difficult, then drinking most of the cup is sufficient. Under exceptional conditions, drinking most of revius is also acceptable, even if the cup is much larger than the revius. Time limit, preferably 2 swallows. If this is difficult, then up to 4 minutes is acceptable. If this is very difficult, then 5 to 6 minutes also acceptable by some poskim. Haggadah, the proper time for starting the Seder is right after Tzeis HaKochavim. Upon arriving home from Ma'ariv, one should start the Seder promptly in order that the children should not fall asleep before eating the matzah and maror and the milk. Therefore, one should say the Haggadah as quickly as possible and save the commentaries for later on. Leaning. Some say leaning on the left is not required, but Rabbi Israel Yakubov says it is recommended even for women to lean. Can you lean on the air? He does not recommend. He said, Rabbi Israel Yakubov does not, he said it has to be something physical. And he said, like, grab a chair. You could grab a chair and to the side and lean on the left side. Fine, could do that. And Rabbi Israel Yakubov says, the night of Seder night, when we act with royalty, we dress royally and we have beautiful royal tablecloth and beautiful yummy dishes. We do tikkun for all our gava throughout the year. Amazing. There is a segula for the shidduch of the girl. If when they take 10 drops of wine and she spills it out, for her to get married this year. For the boy, they say that you should take a zroa after second night, segula, and put it in his pocket without him knowing. Without the bone, zroa, it should be put in a ziploc, whatever, and put in his pocket without him knowing. He will find it, whatever, he will find it, hopefully before it stinks. And another one is for the girl. It says that if you take this, the bone of the zroa and you throw it on the roof of the building.
And what do you do with that?
That's it. Just
For the girl?
the girl or whoever. Doesn't matter.
What
For the-
is
Segula. They say segula. I don't know. I didn't test it
the girl?
for the girl.
My kids are more
Thank you so
like-
much.
Yeah.
There was, there was a guest in somebody's home. There was a guest in somebody's home. It was a Syrian home, and the guest was from out of town. And he comes to their table. First of all, he comes to the shul. And in the shul, they notice that he's a new face. And they ask him, oh, you're new here in the community. Do you have where to stay? He says, no. He says, please come to our house. Fine. So he comes to their house. And as he comes to their house, he hears that it's very noisy in the neighborhood. So he says, we can barely hear each other talking and reading the Seder night. Why it's so noisy? And the person says, the real story happened. The story is told by Rabbi Duvi Ben Susan. He said, so the host says, yeah, unfortunately, about a year and a half ago, maybe a block and a half away from where we live, they opened up a nightclub. And they run very loud music, some Russians, and unfortunately, there is nothing we could do. They could barely hear each other at the Seder night. And they go through this every night of the week. And especially it's concerning when you're having a Seder night. So when they come to the 10 makot, so this man says, the guest says, can I ask you a favor? He says, yeah. He says, can I have this plate with 10 makot? Can you walk with me and show me where this place is? And he says, okay. So they walk to that place and they just spill those 10 makot, the 10 drops of blood of wine, on the steps of that nightclub. And they walk back home. It was only a block and a half, whatever. Literally within half an hour after that, they hear police cars. They hear helicopters. And they got scared. Like, what's going on in our neighborhood? What? It's not enough. We have noise from here now, more noise. They look out the windows and they see something is going on. And they don't know. And about an hour later, the neighbors come out and they say, you know what happened? You know what happened? What happened? Apparently that nightclub that the Russians opened up, it was not a nightclub. It was just a facade of a nightclub. It was really a drug cartel. They were selling drugs from that place under the mask of they just come to dance and whatever. So they were doing stuff that was not completely kosher. And the FBI and the police and everybody was after them for a while. And when this host, guest in this host house, when he put the plate of makot on the steps, this was the time that they were apprehended. And that nightclub was closed down. And after that, the Seder night was led peacefully. But don't do it to your enemies. Don't do it. With that, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry?
What's the best thing to do with this wine?
With the wine?
With the 10 drop.
Okay, you spill it inside the toilet. Because it's makot. It cannot touch anybody. It's 10 makot that you spill in the toilet and you flush it. I wish you all Chag Kasher Sameach. Remember, this holiday is for the children. They should be happy. Get them gifts, get them books, get them outfits, get them toys, get them something exciting. Make them happy. Make them look forward to the Seder night. Make yourself happy. And your husband, by Shulchan Aruch, is obligated to buy you new clothes and new jewelry and clothes for the kids. So tell him I said so. and be basimcha, no getting upset or angry. You're going to be happy. The whole year is going to be happy. And on Pesach, they decide how much wheat is going to be that year. It's decided, parnasa. So as well as your parnasa is also has to be decided. That's why keep this Pesach as clean, as pure as possible. You clean the rice 3 times. And Bezrat Hashem, daven to Hashem that it should be as kosher and as besimcha as possible. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much.
Esther, thank you. It was a beautiful class. Thank you. Hello?
Well.
Can you wait? I have just need a lesson. I'm not gonna be long, I'll be quick. I feel like it's coming now. Thanks, bye.